Hey everyone, this is John, and today we are going to look at the first part of the IELTS speaking test and how we can best answer those questions. So, the IELTS speaking test is divided into three main parts, and you will be marked based on your vocabulary, your fluency, grammar, and pronunciation. And then each of those four parts I just mentioned are worth 25% of your grade. So, for the part one of the speaking test, there will be roughly 12 questions and you have about 5 minutes to answer them. So you're going to be asked these questions one at a time, like one after the other, and that will give you about 20 seconds to answer each one. So this is a very fast round. You have to be quick with your answers. And these will be based on familiar topics. So all the things they ask you will be on things like family or films or sports. And the examiner will pick 3 of these topics and ask you 4 questions on them. So they might ask you 4 questions on family, and then sports, and then on 4 questions on holiday. So here are my tips on how to answer these questions well. The first point here, and probably the most important one, is you always want to explain or add in details to your answer. Always give your reasons why. So if they ask you who's your favorite sports star, don't just give them the name of the sports star. Tell them who it is, for example, LeBron James, and say he's your favorite basketball player, and then give lots of reasons why. Talk about how he is very skillful, or talk about his personality, and then you can even mention about why he's your favorite because he motivates you to play a basketball or whatever it is. Just give lots of explanation. However, you always want to keep it relevant to the question, so don't diverge too far. In that example I gave before, the topic was about your favorite sports star, so keep it related to that and don't start talking about something unrelated. And lastly here, vary your use of vocabulary as much as you can, and this is a great way to get a good mark. And also, if you're able to do it correctly, you can even try changing your sentence structure sometimes, but this is not necessary and it's only really needed if you want a very good mark. So here are some more tips. Don't talk for too long. So you have 20 seconds max to talk. You don't want to go over that. And you also don't have to talk for the whole 20 seconds. So basically, you're just trying to do the best you can and give as much detail as you can. Some questions you might go under 20 seconds. It's no problem really, just as long as you've at least explained something. So try to be upbeat and positive with your answers. What I mean by this is, if they ask you a question such as, do you read any books? And your answer is no, then you want to try and be more positive about it, or still give details at least. So you could say no. However, when I was younger, I used to read all the time. My favorite books were about magic and supernatural things like Harry Potter. Unfortunately, these days I'm too busy with my studies to read books. So we've kept it relevant to the question, we've added in lots of details, and we've kept it kind of positive. And the last point here is, if you are really stuck, you can just lie. So it's more important that you speak and show off your English skills than you tell the truth. So if they ask you, do you like sports? And you really don't like sports, but you can't think of anything to say, then you can just lie and say you love sports. So you could say, I love sports. My favorite one is basketball because it's so fast-paced, exciting, and physical. My favorite player would be whoever because of his personality, and then you describe his personality and why he's so good in that sport. So it's okay to lie to show off your skills, especially if you have nothing to say. So here are my final points. Don't worry if your answers don't sound as good as mine. So I'm a native English speaker, so my answers are hopefully pretty good. Even if your answers aren't as good, you can still get a respectful mark. You can still do well on the test. And just know that it's about you trying your best to give as much detail as you can in those 20 seconds. Obviously, with nerves and things, you mightn't be able to give the best answer, but that's okay. You can still get a good mark. You can Google this website here, IELTS Speaking Buddy, for more information on the test. They give out free information such as quizzes that you can take. They have model answers and lots of information on all the 3 different parts of the exam as well. And my last point here, what's very important is, you need to know what to expect in the test and also practice. So I've told you the layout of the first part of the exam. It's really important that you know what to expect before coming in and doing this exam. Even if your English is really good, if you don't know what to expect, it can confuse you or throw you off and you won't get as good a mark as you should. Likewise, if your English is not as good, but you know exactly what's going to come up in the test and you can prepare for it, then you can still get a very good mark. So that's today's video, everyone. I hope you found it useful. Send me an email if you have any questions or if you want to see a certain topic. I was hoping to cover some sample questions in this one and answers. However, I'll leave it to the next video. Thank you very much for watching.